question that drives most of our lives and determines what we do and how we go through life is, what do we think of ourselves? So asking the question, what do I think of me? Ask yourself that question, what do you think of yourself? Because the answer to that will come up, you'll probably come up with two different sides of things. One side will be your self-confidence, the other one will be your self-esteem. So confidence and esteem are often very much mixed up or misunderstood, so I just want to put the record straight a little bit here. Confidence, self-confidence, is based on out there in the world stuff. It determines whether I feel confident to be able to do something. Am I confident that I could get that perfect person in my life? Am I confident that I could get that promotion? Am I confident that I could do that particular task or that particular activity? Am I confident that I could learn something? And that sense of confidence in whether we can do something is based on our history. It's based on historic stuff in our life. If I've done something similar to this before, well, yeah, possibly I could. So an accurate sense of self-confidence allows us to look at the past in a realistic way, recognize our achievements, recognize what we've done, and be able to make a realistic judgment in the now that, yeah, I possibly could do something similar to that again. So it might be, hey, I've driven a car in the past and I've driven a couple of vehicles, so potentially I could, with some guidance, fly a light aircraft. You know, it's mechanically doing a particular task in a particular way, operating a vehicle. Yeah, I've done that in the past, in a car, in a truck, in various ways. And potentially, I'm fairly confident I could do that. So it's checking the reality of where you're at and recognizing your abilities from the past, recognizing your achievements and the things that you can do in the past, and projecting that into the future. And it's all around what you can do out there in the world. Now, the other side of this that I mentioned is self-esteem. Self-esteem is often misunderstood. People will put their sense of self-esteem as conditional on other people or other things. Is my sense of self-esteem determined by other people? So ask yourself this question. How do you know that you've got good self-esteem? Now, if you're coming up with answers like, oh, well, because so-and-so told me so, or because I did a good job, then you're making your sense of self-esteem conditional on something else. And self-esteem is not conditional. Self-esteem is determined by, do you like you? Making the slight distinction here as well between self-esteem. Esteem means to value. So to value yourself from yourself. Self-esteem is different from esteem because we do need esteem from other people. But self-esteem is, do you like you? So if you've got no money, if you've had a run of bad luck, if things are going wrong, are you still a good person? And if the answer to that is yes, fantastic, you have good self-esteem. Many years ago, I had a really bad accident and damaged my left arm, and it still doesn't work to this date. And I stopped being able to do so much. I was a part-time soldier. I was doing really well, and suddenly I couldn't do that anymore. So I went from being a part-time soldier and a career to being essentially disabled and unemployable. Now, I went through a rough patch, and it wasn't until years later that I determined that even after that, I was still a nice person. I'm still a good person. And so, even if something goes wrong and our life changes, that's an out there in the world thing. That's a situational thing, and it's nothing to do with our sense of self-esteem, because if you value yourself, then you have good self-esteem. Now, here's the cool thing. You are valuable. You are innately valuable. You are a completely unique person in this entire world. So recognize that and value yourself. One little thing that often people will say when I tell them this is, I don't want to be big-headed. But it's not about being big-headed. It's not about shouting it from the rooftops and saying, hey, look at me. I'm really important. I'm very good. I'm a lovely person. Because very often people who actually do that don't have very good self-esteem. So value yourself as a person, as the unique person that you are, because when you do that, there's a sense of security, there's a sense of relief, and then your sense of self-esteem is not determined by anything out there in the world. So no matter what goes wrong, you can remain centered, you can remain balanced, and you can remain in control of yourself. We'll still feel different emotions, we'll still have those ups and downs in life, because that is life. But having a strong sense of self-esteem will allow you to be happier within yourself. So I hope that's been useful, knowing the difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. If you've got any questions about confidence and esteem, make a comment below or ask me a question, flick me an email, and we can have a chat. If you think that you've got bad self-esteem, come to me for coaching, because we can get around that. If you think you've got bad confidence in something, we can build that as well. So get a good handle on your own sense of self-confidence in a realistic way. Get a good handle on your sense of self-esteem, because you are a valuable individual. There's nobody else like you in the entire world, and that's really important. So value yourself, esteem yourself, because by doing so, you're gonna project that out to the world. It's going to come across. You're going to become a helpful person to other people. You'll empower yourself, you'll empower others, and you make the world a much better place to live. Thanks very much for joining me. Remember to sign up. Email up in the top here in the sign up form, and I'll come and visit you every single week and share it with your friends. Thanks a lot. Talk to you again soon.